obstructionist, Senator, I am working my tail off to try to get something together that will work. And luckily, since 792 is not supposed to go into effect until October of 2018, we still have time to do that. And we could do it. We could even do it before 2018 if we work together to get something that works sensibly for everybody.
So you mentioned that there are constitutionality issues because of equal protection. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with the discussions that have been had about 791 and 792, the concerns are that it limits liquor store owners to 2 licenses and also limits who can hold a wine license. No limit on beer licenses. I think the concern is that the provisions that you put in 791 would limit a wine license to no closer than 500 feet of an existing grocery store. Is that correct?
No, that's...
I'm sorry, a wine license within 500 feet of a liquor store.
No, Senator, that's not a concern actually, because that was what was challenged in our petition by the Grocers Association already in front of the Oklahoma Supreme Court. That was their sole challenge to it. The Supreme Court ruled in our favor that that did not violate equal protection.
My understanding was the number of the licenses was the equal protection issue, not the distance between wine licenses and an existing retail package store license.
I'm sorry, I got a little confused. I thought you were asking why our petition was unconstitutional.
No, what I'm asking is how can you argue for equal protection in one instance, but you're trying to pass another state question with the same sort of language?
Well, in fairness, our language in 791 does have limited grocery store licenses as well as limited liquor store licenses with a slow rollout of grocery store licenses. That's a key difference in how the marketplace is viewed, and we think the Supreme Court will agree with that.
Final question before we go to the audience. There are concerns about the social costs of 792 or 791, any increasing access to beer, to strong beer and wine. Do you have any view on whether we're going to see any costs that need to be addressed? And if so, how would we pay for those? Would they cost?
The public safety aspect was a very important discussion for me. I am the mother of 2 daughters. One is a teenager, one will be a soon-to-be teenager. These are things I looked at very closely. I had conversations with mental health and substance abuse about this. Some of the provisions that are in Senate Bill 383, which I think are very relevant to this conversation, are that age of sale is 18 for beer and wine, 21 for spirits. And in current statute, you can be as young as 16 to sell beer in a grocery or convenience store. And let's not kid ourselves, 3.2 beer is alcohol. I'm pretty certain most of you in this room that attended college can attest to that fact. It is an intoxicating substance. So we do need to have protections in place to ensure that we're not selling to youth. The second piece of that is we're also requiring licensing. Those individuals that want to sell alcohol have to be licensed. And third, they have to be trained. None of those provisions are currently in statute. You can walk into a convenience store, apply as a 16-year-old, and start selling beer, and virtually none of the independent grocery or convenience stores have any sort of formal training program on how to check for IDs, who you shouldn't sell to, when you should get a manager involved. So I think that we are trying to do our best to make sure that we are looking at those licensing provisions and those public safety issues very, very carefully.
So we agree on the larger point that you should do what you can in order to protect youth access from alcohol. And I support the training provision that Senator Bice referred to.